Welcome to 30 Days of Remembering. I'm Shaman Gray, your host, and this is Ministry of Style Studios, a place, a space, a house for the sacred work of midlife, a gathering place for those of us standing at the threshold between who we have been and who we are remembering ourselves to be. With that, let's get started. Today's clue, purple. Because the things we learn to stop loving don't simply disappear. They become exiles. And exiled things often become clues. So today's question for the collective, I got a question, is just this. What did you stop loving because someone told you it wasn't real? So lately, I've been searching for this moment. The moment I stopped trusting what I flat out see as real. That moment I stopped believing I could see in the dark, hear with more than my ears, or trust what comes when my eyes are closed. Somewhere along the way, I learned to doubt what felt completely natural. I'm aware that there's this thing that happens in the garden in the mornings. I am rarely lucid enough in the morning, which is when to be walking around doing what I'm doing. And that's when spirit speaks through many of us the clearest. It may be that way for those with brain fog. All of people with brain fog, I don't know. I've spoken to many, and it's that way, that moment of clarity. And definitely for those with onset Alzheimer's. Those moments before the to-do list and so forth come and take over our thinkings and bring up the anxiety and all the things. That's spirit. It's that space in between. And when I'm in the garden, I don't know where this came from, but I start to get a little nervous as of late. I'm nervous that if I don't take a pen out with me and my journal, I'm going to forget what has come through, and I won't be able to connect the dots by the time I make it back inside. And what Spirit told me this morning about this moment of anxiety is to consider that if we don't remember, perhaps that's by design. So why get your panties in a wad over it? What sits, fits, and let the rest go. The mind won't have recall, but the body will. If it's that important, it's going to come again. Trust that and allow yourself to be freed from one more thing to be stressed about. Spirit ain't wrong. Spirit ain't wrong. Spirit's never wrong. Right? Yeah. So purple flowers. Whew. The color worn by royals. Purple. The purple flowers I saw on the sidewalk this morning reminded me how much as a child I loved purple. And then I let purple go. When I was about preteen, my father and my stepmother sent me this oversized purple umbrella and matching poncho that were this thick canvas and super well made. It was a thick duck canvas. And if you know LL Bean or Land's End, their ductwork, it's that good stuff that just lasts forever. And I remember I was so proud of them. I couldn't wait to wear them to school. I was ready for it to rain. I had my rain boots. I was cute. I was so cute until I wasn't. The umbrella had this wooden handle, not unlike the one I have now. It was really sturdy and it had a stamp of a British company. And I thought that was interesting, an interesting memory because, yeah, it's not that different from the one I have now. And our slave owners were British. So I made that connection. And the umbrella and the poncho, right, were embroidered with my initials in this beautiful, thick white script. And when I got them for my birthday, I wore them to school, and I was teased by the girls living on the South End near me who said I thought I was bougie and I thought I was better than them. Well, that was their reoccurring story about me anyway, so, it is what it is. And they were always asking me, I remember this question, what are you? Just so funny because I often ask that in the garden of these things that everything in the desert is weird and strange. And I don't understand it. And I ask it, what are you? And that memory actually comes through. I didn't understand these girls' questions and their accusations. But let me tell you what. I learned to run like a world-class sprinter that day, that first day. I wore my purple poncho with the matching umbrella. And it was the first of many run for your life moments. And you know what? They never caught me. That day, I stopped just short of our duplex, which was at the bottom of a hill. And I was standing, and I say that because there was a dip and there was tons of water. And, I had my cute rain boots, so I was standing all in it. And I just stopped, and I stopped because I think I was going to say something to them. I just had enough. And mind you, they were bigger than me. When I was up to the time of teens, high school, I was pretty tiny. I was a pretty tiny girl. I mean, I'm not that tall now. And I definitely wasn't that tall then, especially in comparison to them. And I held up my umbrella, and they stopped. They didn't stop, the chatter, but they stopped. And I realized they were terrified. And I was like, It was the first time I realized that this was going to be my suit of armor. And I couldn't wait for it to rain again and again and again. And trust, I tried to take the umbrella with me every day, and I wasn't allowed to. And I also wasn't going to share with my mom what happened because I was super embarrassed. Yeah. So, with that umbrella and poncho on that birthday, I also got this book called The Preppy Handbook. Book changed my life. I didn't think much of it, and now I see it fit the style of the raincoat. With its embroidered initials, it was in the wooden handle, it was very preppy. And I read that book, oh my gosh, I read that book cover to cover so many times. It became like a Bible. It did. And within its pages, It was kind of strange because it said purple is not preppy. And I thought, well, why would they give me this book? And then it's actually telling me that purple, and yeah, why would they give me this book and then give me this purple stuff when these two don't go together? I didn't get it. Like, was this a trick? So I don't know. I don't know. I remember somewhere, sometime, my stepmother and I had this conversation where she said, you know, purple isn't preppy. So she reiterated what was in the book for me, right? And that kind of crushed me. It kind of crushed me. I never wore purple again. And I wasn't sure why purple was my favorite color in the first place when midnight blue had actually been the crayon I favored in 3rd grade. I remember the same girls telling me when we were coloring that it wasn't a color, that it was stupid, and that it was almost looking black. Almost looking black. Like me. Yeah. And every Crayola crayon set, you remember that? Oh, gosh, I can still remember that smell. It just smelled so good. I might have eaten crayons at, at one point. And had a little pencil sharpener. It just seemed so tidy and efficient, and I loved the box. But every set I received, and there were many, was devoid of midnight blue. I don't know what that was about. Yeah. And I swore I'd never wear purple again, and I never did. And it's okay because my style, I mean, I followed that book to the nth degree. My style was 100% preppy by the time I transitioned to high school. And it was also, my style was intentionally elitist. And to give you a little bit of backstory from, I mean, the time of my little yellow dress to the time I was allowed to dress myself, I was in it. I was picking out my clothes, picking, you know, from what I had. You know, people were always giving us clothes. And I was styling them. I was putting it together. So, yeah, I was 100% preppy. And my parents were coming up at the time as well. And I decided that if I was going to be chased and beaten up, they never did beat me up, because they never could catch me. You know, if they were going to go ahead and try and beat me up for being better than, then I might as well go ahead and look the part. I might as well go ahead and act the part. And I went ahead and performed for them. It just became normal. I didn't even think about it anymore after a while, actually. I did, however, request to switch to private school. Yeah. Oh, and I, you know, wow. I wonder, I have to laugh at these stories. The kids are a trip, you know? And I have to wonder if that's why purple returned, to remind me of when my performance began, and then perhaps working back from there, I can figure out what that moment was when, you know, I stopped trusting my gifts. Spirit reminded me very clearly, along with the clue, that memory lives in the mind and it lives in the body. I know that. We know that, right? Well, I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging into that. the thing meant for us, whatever the reason, it's always going to return. It's going to return because there's medicine in it. Purple returned, and it hasn't been that long ago that I leaned hard on midnight blue. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I have some more exploring and journaling and excavating, if you will. I wish I could go into the garden, but I'm looking at my computer here and it says fire weather warning, so that won't happen, which means it's probably about a 108 or 109. I digress. I won't apologize because that's just the brain. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Today's clue, purple. What comes up for you? Where does that take you? And of course, because you know I love them, I got a question for you. I want to know what color. Ask yourself. If you want to share with me, that would be great. What color, what gift, what knowing or piece of yourself is waiting patiently for you to remember it? Okay? So, with that, take what resonates, leave the rest. Remember what remembers you. Drink your water and give thanks for listening. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm Shaman Gray.